is Miranda, and today I'm here to review the movie adaptation of Crazy Rich Asians. And I actually just read the first book in this trilogy for the first time a couple weeks ago, so the book was fresh in my mind going into the movie, and I was really excited to see it adapted because it's just one of those books that screams to be adapted. Like, everything you're picturing in your mind, the extravagance, the luxury, like, you just need to see it on the big screen. And the fact that it's the first all-Asian led film in 25 years is amazing. So I was just super excited to see it. My theater was so crowded, which I was so excited for because I really want this movie to do well so we can get the other two books adapted and get some more diverse films out there and some more adaptations of diverse books and everything. Overall, I really did enjoy the movie. It was pretty similar to the book, I do have to say. They changed some things, and overall I think they just focused it more on Rachel and Nick and their story, and that meant cutting out some of the other characters, their kind of two-dimension, you know, their stories, and making them a bit more one-dimensional, like Alistair, like Eddie, and stuff like that, which I was okay with because if we get the other two books, there's still time to do that. And a big thing that I did have a problem with the book was that I feel like it took too long to get to Singapore. Like, I was just kind of like, okay, let's get there. So I was really excited and surprised when they got there so quickly in the movie. I was like, oh, they're already flying there. This is wonderful. But I think cutting that down to just focus on that narrative, and then it was mainly Rachel, and then Astrid also got her storyline, even though that was also cut down, but she did have her little main storyline off of Rachel's. I think that made it so much easier to get into the story and understand the fundamentals and the dynamics of this family. And then, like I said, you can expand now and move along and focus a little more on other people in the next two film adaptations, if they do make those. The cast I absolutely loved. I know Constance Wu from Fresh Off the Boat, which she's so funny on. So I was so excited to see her like in a lead role because she can definitely carry. Like, I knew she was gonna do phenomenal, and she's just so adorable, and I love seeing, you know, she just has this sweet face, but then like when she like stood up to Eleanor, or when she's kind of, you know, like playing it, giving it back to you, like when she told Amanda to get out of her way, it just seems so like, oh, I just like, you root for her. And I think that's what was great about casting her, is that she was someone who just exuded Rachel to me. Like, you wanted to root for her. She was in the right, and you were wanting to see her win and stick it to Eleanor and get Nick in the end, and it was so great. And then Nick Young, Henry, I don't know where they found him, but I am in love. Like, he is so adorable, and his accent is so cute, and I just think he was the perfect Nick. Like, he played him so just like golden boy next door and everything. Like, my absolute favorite scene with him is at the end when he gets on the plane with Rachel and he's trying to tell her, you know, like everything, and there are just people in his way, and he's just so sweet. He's never like, get out of my way. He's just like, okay, sorry dude, I gotta move you. And then he like helps everyone put their luggage away in the overhead bins, and he's like, okay, does anyone else have anything, because I just want to talk to her. And it was just so cute, and so like, it just all seems so natural, which was great, you know, like, he just seems like such an awesome guy. And that was I think was really cool, because you also have to root for Nick, because he, through a lot of it, is unaware, I think, of his family's effect, and not even his family, but other people, like how they treat Rachel, until Colin kind of tells him, like, you're untouchable, she's not, like, what do you think? Like, he's kind of like, oh, she can handle it, and everyone else is like, our family isn't like normal family, like, you need to warn her. So I think it would be very easy to kind of be like, oh, he's so rude, he just like threw her into the wolves without warning her. But he has this kind of charm and this, I think, innocence that he plays off about his family that's true, that I think translated really well, so you're not as mad as him. I mean, at some point you're like, Nick, bro, get it together. But then he does, I feel like you do see that, like, he doesn't really, like, everyone puts on their best face for Nick, and then when he's gone, they stab Rachel in the back. And my favorite character, aside from Henry, because, like, we're all just spawning over Henry, let's be real, was Astrid. I freaking walked out of this movie with the biggest crush on Gemma Chan. I just started watching Humans, which she was on, like, literally a month ago. I'm only on, like, episode 3 of the first season, so I didn't get that much into it. But, like, seeing her on the big screen, she is such a good actress, and for Astrid, I think she was perfect. She just exudes this like warmth and this sweetness that I really, really love, while also having this sophistication and this, you know, socialite feel to her. I loved seeing what they added with her and her son. I think that was so cute because they didn't talk about that a lot in the book, I think. Like, she definitely, like, hung out with her son and stuff, but, like, she still would say, like, oh, the nanny did this, like, the nanny took care of him. So I like seeing her read in bed. I like seeing her make the dumplings with him because you see that she really wants to be a hands-on mom, and I think that's so sweet and so cute. And oh my gosh, who will forget where they were and the exact time when Astrid told off Michael? Like, that was so good when he was just basically trying to be like, I'm the one that's gonna leave, like, you can stay here and kind of play like the, like, I don't know, the broken wife, you know, who got left or whatever. And she's like, no, you can stay here, you bought this apartment, I'm gonna leave. And he was like, where are you gonna go? And she's like, well, I have 14 apartments, so I figure one of those. It was just so good. And then I love when he was just like shocked and she was like apologizing for having to hide her clothes and her shoes and everything that she bought, and she's like, but I can't make you a man, I can't make you something that you never were. And I was like, oh, like, I fell in love with one woman in that exact moment. I was like, you freaking go, Astrid. And I hope this opens up more for the next two movies for Michael to be like less in it. Like, I could still see him being like in the divorce proceedings and they can do all that. But I hope this makes it so she officially left him and now she's going to be with Charlie. So that'll be really, really interesting to see. But when she told him off, I was just like, thank goodness, girl, because he is an insecure, just like, he didn't even, like, he couldn't even take work off for his son's birthday. And it's like, I get if you don't want to hang out with Astrid's family, but it's your son's birthday. So, bye-bye. And then the biggest event of this whole thing, obviously, we need to talk about the wedding. The wedding was beautiful. Like, I was watching it crying and I did not expect to cry. Like, I was like attending the wedding. I was like, this is so beautiful. And when I absolutely lost it was when the water started trickling down the aisle, filling it up so it looked like a river. When they were singing like about rivers, like the song was like River Runs or something like that, and then the water started coming, and I was like, I want this at my wedding. Like, the flowers were like floating along the water, everyone was holding those butterfly lights, and then the girl stepped out and she looked absolutely beautiful. Like, I love that, like, she didn't have shoes, she had like the body glitter and just this giant dress. And that wedding scene, like I said, I was sobbing because it was just so many emotions. I mean, you had Colin and his wife, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but they were both just like so excited to get married, and she looked so beautiful. And like when she took that first step into the water, it was just breathtaking. Like, I was like, and I think the song was perfect, the Can't Help Falling in Love with You, and how they timed it perfectly so like it stopped and then it started up again when she took her first step to walk towards him. So they're sobbing because they're so happy. Nick and Rachel are sobbing because like they're realizing like this is what they want for each other. You know, they want to see each other as bride and groom, you know, and like feeling all those emotions. And then you have Astrid in the background who's remembering her wedding with Michael and now thinking about how they're broken up and, you know, remembering the happier times, but also like knowing that she's got to move on and everything. And I was just like, this is too many emotions for me. So I absolutely loved the movie. I think it was so good. There's so much more I could talk about. I mean, her friend was amazing. I loved seeing all the designs, the sets, everything. I loved Colin. I loved the scene where they picked them up from the airport and they all just go out and chill. And I just loved it, guys. I was so super impressed. I feel like they cut out some of the parts that made it a bit more soap opera-ish, you know, that kind of brought it to that level of like, you're like, is this really happening? And I wasn't mad about that because I think it made it, you know, like, no one I feel like in the movie was like, this is too ridiculous, you know? So I like that. But if you have seen Crazy Rich Asians, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Also, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel down below to be told to make all sorts of new videos. I super enjoyed this movie, guys. I think it's so, so good. It's definitely one that I will want to see more than once in theaters, so hopefully I can see it again soon. And like I said, Astrid is just my new love. So maybe I can stay in one of her apartments. We'll see. But I'll see you next time. Bye, guys!